Hey there, it's Leslie with Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and let's make these little gingerbread cuties for Christmas in July. And they'll be all ready for a day at the beach, taking a break from their busy Christmas schedule. So I outlined and flooded in the swimsuit with a 12-second royal icing flood consistency. I'm going to do a wet on wet effect and put a little bit teardrop shapes of green in, and then use my scribe to jiggle it around to kind of make some points to make some holly looking like leaves. And then I'll add some red berries. And I'm just going to continue doing that on the swimsuit until the swimsuit is completely full with a holly pattern. I let the cookie dry for about 20 minutes, and now I'm going to pipe in the hands, feet, and the head, and then I'll let it dry again for at least another 20 minutes. And I'm going to use my scribe to help shape the icing and pop any air bubbles before I set it aside to dry. Oh, and I almost forgot one last thing. We need a little hair coming out of the top. Okay, this gingerbread babe has been drying for at least 20 minutes, and now I'm going to put some little holly on the top of her head. Kind of like a bow, but instead of a bow, it's holly. So I'm going to do 3 leaves here, and then I'll let that dry. Next, we'll give her a little nose, and we'll use the scribe to make sure that all the air bubbles are popped so we don't get any craters, and then I'll outline the swimsuit. Once the holly has had at least 10 minutes to dry, you can go back and add a red berry. Then put this cookie aside to dry completely. I let it dry overnight before getting out my edible paint and painting in the wavy gingerbread lines on her head and her arms and legs. I'll leave a link in the description to the products I used. And then I used a black edible marker to give her a little mouth and some eyes. I added some eyelashes to the eyes, which I don't know, might make her look a little strange. Maybe it's just cute. You decide and let me know in the comments. So for this beach beauty, we're going to do another wet on wet swimsuit. I've piped it in with a green royal icing in about a 12-second consistency. And I'm just going to use my scribe to get everything shaped the way I want it. And then I'm immediately going to pipe in some red dots. And because I had previously piped the head and the arms and the feet, I can go ahead and pipe in the green bow immediately. I'm going to add the same red dots to this green bow. And then I'll set this cookie aside to dry. Now that it's had a chance to dry, I will go ahead and add some details to the swimsuit. I'm going to put little dots on the top here, just like on the swimsuit, and then a center to the bow. It's time for the nose, and then we can draw in the face and paint in the gingerbread pattern. And this little girl is ready for her day at the beach. And for this last little gingerbread cutie, I'm going to do a candy cane pattern on her swimsuit, so flooding in with white royal icing. I'm going to immediately take my red and draw some diagonal stripes. These are all wet on wet swimsuit designs, and it will dry as one solid surface instead of having a bumpy pattern to it. So I'll let this dry, and I'll come back later and flood in the head and the hands. Since I've already shown you that, I didn't want to show you again. And then I will let that dry and pipe in the bow. The bow is going to have the same candy cane pattern, so I'm just going to use my icing and make little red stripes. I let that all dry, and now I'm going to go back and add in the details to the swimsuit. I piped a little wavy neckline that I'm going to go back later and pull out to make it look like lace, and then I just outlined the legs. I added the nose, and then I took a slightly dampened paintbrush that I wiped most of the water off, and I'm just dragging a little bit of the red icing from the collar up to her neckline and making it look a little bit like lace. I know it's hard to see here. And once I'm done fussing with the collar, I will add the center to her bow, and I will paint on the gingerbread design and give her some eyes and a mouth with an edible marker. And I decided to add some ties to the bow with red royal icing. And I think she came out pretty adorable. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about all of these gingerbread cuties and their day at the beach. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. Happy Christmas in July.